And welcome to this edition of Bury Your Bookie. I'm Jeff DeForest. Very happy to have you with us. And this is certainly great news for the degenerate. I don't know if you've seen the stories circulating, but there are a variety of sports books, many of the major ones that are considering dropping the juice. They're making so much money that they're no longer going to have you bet 110 to win 100, not even 105 to win 100. No juice for the big man, as we used to say. They are thinking about dropping that component in all gambling ventures and all across the board. And if that happens, it's certainly going to be a welcome development for the players out there who have been getting creamed by the VIG for years and years and years and years. And so I don't know how that movement got started. People have been screaming forever, hey, it isn't fair, right? Especially certain events where it's a one-on-one matchup and you're betting a fight, say, and one guy, Canelo's minus 45,000, and the other guy who should be plus 45,000 is like plus 300. You're like, well, wait a minute, that there's a big discrepancy there. The books can only make out. So this whole development, which is fantastic and very innovative. I'm not sure if this gentleman who's about to join us here on the program, Scotty M, had anything to do with igniting the spark that finally saw some consideration being given to the players. Scotty, are you following this story? It's kind of a major development in the degenerate gambling world where many of the major books are no longer going to be charging any kind of vig or juice on bets. From now on, if you bet 100, you're going to win 100. You don't have to put up 110 to win 100. I think it's A, startling, and B, it's something that an idea whose time has come. No? What do you think about that one?
I think it's great because what happened was many years ago when the offshores got into the industry, they started changing the lines where you'd have to lay like minus 115, 120, even
Right.
125 on favorites, which, a lot of people were kind of surprised by that. And now hearing this, I mean, that is pretty amazing that they've I don't know what the angle is for them. I guess it's just going to get more attention for more players being able to, play the games, and they should obviously get more business coming in. But yeah, that would be great. Is it? I mean, is you're hearing that is a rumor mill, or is that something that's out there on the table right now?
No, it's April Fool's Day. That's the reason I
Ah,
brought it up. I had you
okay.
there a little bit, Scotty. What was great was you gave a comment on the thing. It was reminiscent of a couple of. I stopped doing the April Fool's thing on the radio, and it was very popular with morning drive radio on sports talk shows, and you'd come up with something, but it has to have some element of believability, no matter how absurd it actually is. Of course,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
never going to turn off the juice because they're killing everybody anyway. And why should they give you a break? You're going to bet no matter what. So they're never going to come around to that. But yeah, we had one time we flooded the switchboard of the radio station, and then the people started canceling season tickets to Miami Dolphin games because I had put out the rumor on April Fool's Day that an aging Dan Marino had been traded straight up for a past his prime but not anywhere near finished Troy Aikman. So the people started calling a radio station, and then our lines were flooded. And then next thing you know, the general manager of the radio station, who rarely visited the studios, they were out there in the middle of nowhere in some little broken down shack. And he comes rolling in his Rolls Royce and says, "If you guys don't stop that right now, you're all fired." And he had our contracts like with a pair of scissors. So he was ready to put them in the shredder
You guys,
because the
you guys
Dolphin
crossed
switchboard
it.
had been bombarded. Yeah, with ticket cancellations. They bought that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it seemed unbelievable to me, right? When I threw it out there, I thought, well, nobody will believe this. So anyway, yeah, it's April Fool's Day, which is it a good day for bettors? What do you think, Scotty?
I think it's a great day for bettors. I really do. I think these games right now have been pretty damn good. You got some baseball heating up. You got these NIT tournaments have been fantastic for us since day one. I got something big time going as far as a special offer with the NIT tonight. Yeah, I love this time of the year, Defo. I got to be honest with you. I wish it would last longer. I hate to see college basketball go. It's been one of our best seasons, numbers wise, probably ever. And unfortunately, now it's going to come down to the last few games of the NBA going into the playoffs, obviously. But you got playoff hockey right around the corner, which is dynamite. A lot of energy there, a lot of excitement going on. And, baseball's going to be carrying everyone. The betting crowd, probably right through this, obviously right through the summer, until football rolls around in August and September again. So, yeah, I like April. I think April's a good time of the year. You could catch some good teams if you're following the baseball and try to make some money with them.
And if you're carrying a torpedo bat, it'd be important. Just like
Yeah,
finding out a horse has made a change of equipment, blinkers on or off. You
yeah.
need to know who's carrying the torpedo bat now. This Ellie De La Cruz, first time using one, he breaks one out of the bag. Boom, 2 home runs, including a gargantuan shot there on his second home run of the night. And he was going for the cycle. Ellie De La Cruz, a shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. Tall guy, man. He doesn't look like a shortstop. Looks like he should be playing forward for the Knicks. But nonetheless, this torpedo bat, with the Yankees banging out 15 homers in 3 games, that's become a very popular bet, I think, also as a prop bet. Who's going to hit home runs? And people are parlaying like 4 obscure guys trying to make a giant score. If you're betting, Scotty M, you know this. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Final Four is upon us. BetOnline has more ways to stay in the action and on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being contested. They have the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to the MLB, NHL, UFC, even the Kentucky Derby. And NFL season futures are ready for you to bet. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino action. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, we're set up for the Final Four. We'll get into that, and then maybe you have some predictions and games that people can mull over betting that are on a slate tonight, baseball, basketball, whatever, Scotty M. But matchups are set. I'm looking at kind of old school versus new school. It was pointed out. I was watching an analyst today, and he was talking about Kelvin Sampson was dissatisfied with something that was going on in practice, so he has his team running 50 suicide drills. That's the thing where you run to the free throw line and back from the baseline, then the
Yep.
midcourt stripe and back, then the other free throw line and back, then the other baseline and back, and you're thinking that should be pretty simple for a basketball player, but man, that was torture. I don't know. Did you run a lot of suicides when you were playing ball?
No, didn't re- I, w- I really didn't get involved with that, but yeah, no, that could take a toll on you. I mean,
Oh, it's horrible.
moving, grooving, back and forth many times like that. But this is as chalky as it gets, Defo. I called it right from the beginning. I said it was going to be a chalky
Yeah.
tournament. I didn't see anything past 1 and 2 seeds getting to the Final Four. I called it right on the nailed it basically. Second time in the history of the March Madness tournament that all number one seeds are facing against each other. Look at the records on these teams playing against each other. Florida and Auburn. Florida won 34 games this year. Auburn won 32 games. In the other game, Houston 34-4 against Duke 35-3. When do you see this? That every team has over 30 wins this year. So talk about competitive. Yeah, this is about as competitive as it gets when it comes to the Final Four. I guess this is what the public wants. This is probably what the TV ratings want. So they got exactly what they figured they were going to get, a real chalk Final Four.
Yeah, and in conjunction with this whole Samson theory and line of thinking, I mean, his team is predicated on that sort of Clubber Lang mentality where they're working out in some dungeon like gym with a heavy bag that's all busted up, hanging from a rusty chain. Only one guy around. They're not eating. They're running, every morning. While Rocky's out there on the chicken circuit, receiving awards and doing cameos in movies.
Yep.
Houston working like a dog. Duke, has the 3 blue chip freshmen. Tyrese Proctor, who's been around, has really blossomed now in this season for the Blue Devils. And they seem to have a perfect mix, big size, and they're blowing people out. I mean, you had that Alabama team that shot 25 out of 53s in one game, and they're throttled from the outset against the Duke Blue Devils. So 4.5 points. It does not seem like a suspect line. I don't know if that's been altered at all, but what do you see there? Because all signs for me point to Duke winning that game, and yet Houston, you would have to accord them a shot if they can implement and execute that dismantling defense. I just think that this is going to be a more difficult assignment, a real tough team to disrupt altogether.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, look at going into this game. Houston won 17 straight games in a row. Been going through everybody pretty handily, except maybe a couple of teams. Their numbers have been outstanding. Duke winning 15 straight games in a row. But that Duke defense, that's going to be the key in this game, I think. I mean, Houston has a great defense. We all know that. I don't know if the Houston offense is going to be able to keep up with the Duke offense, especially if Duke turns it on the defensive side of the ball. That's going to be the key to this game, I think. The Duke defense shutting down Houston more so than anything else. I mean, Houston's defense, we all know about it, but Duke is just playing at a different level. I picked them right from the get-go to get to the championship game. I didn't say if they would win it or not, but I figured they would get right to the championship game. I thought, I figured Houston might have a shot against them, but, now they're playing against each other, so that's not going to, be a championship matchup, obviously. And I just like Duke. I think Duke is just the right team right now, just playing incredible basketball, not taking anything away from Houston, obviously. This line now, Defo, is up to 5.5 in a lot of spots. It opened at 4.5. It's creeped up to 5.5. I don't know if it's the public really jumping on it or the sharps at this point. It's a tough number when you start giving a team that's won 17 games in a row 5.5 points. I mean, you're giving a lot away there, even though as great as Duke is. I mean, it's still a basketball game. They still got to show up and they still got to do what they do best. But it's going to be an interesting game to say the least. Both these games are very interesting to me. Florida and Auburn also another interesting game. I don't think Auburn's been an underdog the whole entire year, if I'm not mistaken. If they were, maybe once. They've been favored in every game they played the whole year. And the Gators, obviously, tremendous season, 34-4. So you got two great matchups. I guess obviously hinging on that late injury to Broome for Auburn, to see how he comes into that game with his elbow. But it's going to be two unbelievable games. I'm leaning towards Duke. I don't know about the point spread on that game, but I like Duke to get to the finals, so I got to stick with what got me there. So I am picking Duke to beat Houston. Whether they cover the 5.5 or not, I'm not sure about that one. And the other game, that's going to be a big play for me. That's a featured game for me, so I'm going to kind of lay off on that one. But I like both these games big time.
Excellent. All right, Scotty M, let's zero in. Anything cooking tonight and or in the next day or so that you're thinking, hey, I'm Scotty M, and I can go out there and make a score.
Yeah, I am Scotty M, and I am looking to make a score. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely tonight. I'm in hockey. You got a really good matchup tonight in hockey. I'm going to jump a little around today. I'm going to play hockey. I'm going to play a little baseball, and I might even put out an NBA game, right? But I like this Winnipeg Jets game tonight against LA Kings. I mean, best record in the NHL, Winnipeg. Most consistent team from day one all the way to right to where they are right now. LA Kings, a good solid club. Both these teams playing extremely well. But I like Winnipeg as a dog in this game. I mean, can't give this guy Holbrook too much with the way he plays in nets. You put that guy between the pipes, and he's getting the job done for them in a big way. I like Winnipeg. They're a small dog, plus 110, 115. So I'm going to jump on Winnipeg against the LA Kings in that matchup tonight in the NHL. I like that play. And I'm looking at, I'm going to jump to the NBA. Not a lot going on tonight, obviously, with the NBA. There's one game that had a little something on my mind. I like Minnesota against Denver. I think they can stay in that game. Denver currently 3.5. I jumped that line up to 4.5 with Minnesota. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They won their last two. They played decent on the road. Yeah, Denver's good. Denver's okay at home. They're 25-12 at home, so they are beatable at home. They've lost some games. They're only 5-5 in their last 10. But I like the way Minnesota. I said Minnesota was going to be a team to watch in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. So I'm going to take the dog. I'm going to take Minnesota up to 4.5 in this game. I think they can match up well against Denver. Denver's still a little banged up. They're bringing players back. I like Minnesota in that spot, plus 4.5.
All right, very good. And you're looking at a baseball game too?
Yeah, I mean, baseball, we've been, picking our spots. You guys got to be careful out there early in the season. Look at these surprises out there. I mean, I really don't think the Dodgers 6-0 so far, but the surprise, the Atlanta Braves 0-5 to start the season off. You don't see that too often, Defo, where the
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves start out with an 0 after the first 5 games of the season. I don't know how long that's been. And San Diego's surprise team got off to a nice 5-0 start. Another surprising team in the opposite direction is Minnesota. They've been favored in every game this year. I think they've been the favorite, slight favorites in some of them, but yesterday they were a huge favorite. They haven't won a game yet. They're 0-4. So you guys got to pick your spots with these teams, because if you're jumping on these teams thinking they're due to win, I mean, Minnesota was due to win yesterday after losing 3 at a 180 favorite. It didn't happen. So don't chase these teams thinking they're due to win, because you got to really, catch these grooves in and out. Long season in baseball, you're going to see some bad runs. You're going to see some good runs. So wait a little bit for these teams that are starting out slow. See how they adjust, and then maybe you can catch a run with them where they win 3-4 in a row after starting out slow. But to make a long story short, I'm going to take Arizona tonight in baseball. I know the Yankees, like you said, hitting the ball like crazy, but I like Arizona in this game. Plus 105, 108 on the money line against the Yankees. Yankees 3-0 so far for the season. I think they dropped their first game of the season tonight against Arizona. I like this matchup. I think it favors Arizona in this spot. They just came off a big win, Arizona, the other day. Put up like 8 runs in the eighth inning. So coming in with a lot of momentum after scoring 8 runs against the Cubs. They were trailing that game 6-2 going into the bottom of the eighth. Put up 8 runs, won the game easily. So I like Arizona as a small dog, plus 105, 108 against the Yankees. That's the only play I'm looking at in baseball.
I love it. I mean, they'll be betting Korean ping pong pretty soon here. And that's a nice cross section of action, Scotty.
With some pickleball.
You're ready for some pickleball. All right, very good. Watch, all aspects of your orthopedic health while you're playing pickleball. All right, where do people get your info? You got this big release coming out on the Florida game. A Florida game against Auburn. So that's a specialty for your clients. So where can they find you?
I actually got something huge going tonight, guys. If you want to take advantage of it, I'm making the price so low it could fit any walk of life player. I'm putting out a 50-unit selection. That's the highest rated game I released.
Just at the moment of truth there. We lost briefly Scotty M. Okay, 50-star selection coming up.
50-unit play tonight on the game between North Texas and UC Irvine and the NIT, which I walked through this tournament with a lot of winning. I also have 2 other plays, the Loyola Chattanooga game in the NIT, and a best bet in baseball between San Francisco and Houston. If you guys want those plays, all you have to do is go on to my Instagram channel, click on the stories for today. All you have to do is click the stories, and you could go to the bottom and purchase that for it's $19 default. Putting out a 50-unit, 2 more best bets, only $19. We've done it 3 times last week. We went 3-0, 3-0, and we had a 1-2 day on Sunday. So we're 7-2 on the last 9. But we like these plays. Go to my Instagram channel, SM Sports Picks, Picks. Click in the story for today. All you have to do is click the link at the bottom, and you can purchase it right now. It's up for $19. Boom.
Dedicated, man. As De Niro said about Al Pacino in the movie Heat, he's dedicated. Scotty, I'm dedicated to bringing you winners. Check them out on Instagram there and SM Picks. And it's just absolutely great having you on the program here on this April Fool's Day, my friend. Fine job as always.
Got a big birthday coming up April 6th on Sunday, Defo. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, big number. I mean, a big round number.
Yeah,
You'll look too young.
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm going to guess 40 years old. Scotty M going to be 40. All right, thanks, Scotty M, ladies and gentlemen. Great job for us here on the program. Very excited about the Final 4 games, and hopefully you guys are going to make some kind of a giant score and win your bracket and do whatever it takes. The no juice thing obviously was not true. I mean, this is April Fool's Day. Not sure that it was the strongest effort that we've ever made in terms of perpetrating a hoax. We've done it many times, but we hope we didn't dupe anybody into it. Although I had Scotty M going, he was saying, "Hey, you know what? This is something." Well, when something is believable and you're thinking its time has come, wouldn't that be great? Not to have to pay the 110 to win 100. Let's hope somebody in the gaming industry was paying attention to that and caught how happy Scotty M was to think that this was a reality. And when it turned out to be hocus pocus, of course, we're all deflated and going back to laying out that extra $10 per 100. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow, the next edition of Bury Your Bookie.